Consumer satisfaction is largely influenced by perceived quality of a product. As such, marketers and consumer behavior experts spend a lot of time and resources in the effort to understand the factors that influence consumers' perceived quality. Marketers realize that the influence of perception is powerful. In actual fact, some see it as powerful as the force of reality. And that's why you may have heard some statements that people say that perception is reality. Basically meaning that what you perceive becomes your reality, because every decision you make, every action you take is determined by your own perception. So it doesn't matter whether it's the fact or not, it is what you believe. That's what makes you make the decisions you do. Now, because consumers make decisions based on what they believe or perceive, then it's important that you understand that perception if you're going to win them over. I'm Catherine Gaho from SBO Research, and thank you for tuning into my channel, Elevators, where we offer elevating and empowering messages to help you grow in life, career, and business. In this video, I'll talk about 8 factors that influence perceived quality by consumers and how that impacts consumer behavior. Do like this video and stay with me as we go through this very interesting topic. Now, consumers frequently assess the quality of products or services that they want to buy based on factors or clues which they associate it with. This means that these clues may not represent the direct value of the product, but a signal, something that signals the consumer about quality. So now let's go to the factors that influence consumers' perceived quality. First is intrinsic factors. The factors that are intrinsic concern physical characteristics of the product itself, such as size, color, flavor, design, shape, fragrance, and the like. Now, consumers like to believe that they base their product quality evaluations on factors that are intrinsic to the product. This would mean that they can easily justify their product decisions, either positive or negative, on the basis of being rational or objective, that they make objective choices. Still, in many cases, the physical factors that consumers use to assess quality may have no real intrinsic relationship to the product quality. To emphasize this, consumers will, for example, describe a drink's color or taste or smell or aftertaste in an attempt to justify their decision to select that product. In some cases, consumers will judge the taste of a cake or even a yogurt based on how it looks, or even just based on the color signals. So the perceived quality of a product, such as cooking oil or detergent, is affected by color signals. Golden color for cooking oil is associated with quality. Blue is one of the most accepted colors for detergents and household cleaning products. I will talk more about color at a later point. Now, the second is extrinsic factors. In the absence of actual experience with a product, consumers will often evaluate quality on the basis of extrinsic factors, meaning that they will use signals that are quite external to the product itself. These signals may include price, packaging, advertising, or even image of the store or outlet. Extrinsic cues tend to influence the quality perception of many products, even as consumers may not readily recognize that. The third is price-quality relationship. A number of studies show that consumers will rely on price as an indicator of product quality. Marketers sometimes take advantage of the assumed price-quality relationship to position their products effectively. This kind of a price-quality interpretation means that the consumer might look at 3 products, and because they don't know any and they don't have a basis for evaluation, they might just decide that the more expensive one must be the better quality. That happens. The fourth point is store image, or the image of the retail outlets. Retail stores have images of their own, and this serves to influence the perceived quality of the products that they carry. In fact, lately you have seen a lot of store brands where a supermarket will make its own product and brand with its own name, and they will get their own pickers who have more faith in that outlet than even in the original producers of that product. The type of product the consumer wishes to buy will influence his or her selection of the retail outlet. So some consumers will classify outlets as high image stores with high price or low image stores with high price or low image store with low price. When you are seen to be a low image store with high price, then it means you are perceived as more exploitative, while the high image with high price seems balanced and the low image with low price appears also balanced. Fifth is manufacturer's image. Consumers' imagery extends beyond perceived price and store image to the producer-manufacturer relationship or image. Manufacturers who enjoy a favorable image in the market find that their new products are accepted more readily than manufacturers with a low image. You've seen, for example, when Coca-Cola came up with the Dasani water, and they say Dasani from Coca-Cola, or when they made the juices, the prepackaged juices, they got better reception because consumers could say, I know this manufacturer, they've been around for long and they make this kind of products. I think they would know how to make this kind of product. I remember some time ago, there was this situation where an alcohol brewing farm wanted to start processing bottled water. This is a company that was very well known. It was known as a producer of alcohol. When they did their research to find out how consumers would take to their new proposed water brand, bottled water, many consumers were concerned. They were saying, how will I be sure that the water has not been mixed with the alcohol? That they did not use the same containers to process the water. And therefore, many people feared that they would get water that would also be alcoholic. And because of that image of the manufacturer, it was not easy to lend to the new proposal to package bottled water. In fact, we've seen many companies that are packaging bottled water because they package other products and because there is so much usage of water in many other businesses. People are looking at, oh, because I do this, I can also do the other. But you have to consider, will it create a positive kind of alignment? Will it extend in a positive direction in the consumer's mind? Now, the sixth point is the image of country of origin. We find that consumers sometimes tend to evaluate product quality based on country of origin. Made in Kenya carries a different meaning from made in Uganda, for that matter. It carries a different meaning because in the mind of the consumer, the representation of the value system of that country is part of what is carried in the image of a brand. One of the things we have found in research is this thing called ethnocentrism, where you find that in some countries, some people are willing to buy more products that are made in their own country than those that come from outside. That concept of ethnocentrism means that you are ethnic-centered and you will select products and services that come from your own country wherever there is a choice. In countries where there is low ethnocentrism, then the government has to develop promotion messages to encourage the citizens to buy products made in their own country. So, for example, where we say buy Kenya, build Kenya, to encourage people to buy products that are made in Kenya. In terms of this whole thinking about countries, one common example is where people talk about Germany and cars made in Germany, or equipment made in Germany, where people have a perception of a higher quality of German-made equipment or cars when compared to those made in other countries. Then you can also look at another association where people look at cars made in Japan are associated with ease of maintenance. So you can see the country of origin can carry a lot of meanings and influence perceived quality in the mind of the consumer. What does made in China represent? Think about it. Number 7, advertising. Consumers also tend to evaluate products based on advertising. So perceived quality can be seen to be linked to advertising. And many companies spend a lot of money advertising because it pays. If it is advertised, it also means that it's out there in the open. And advertising helps to position a product in the consumer's mind and to give it meaning and enhance brand value. So many times people will look at the advertisement and use it to judge quality of the product. So if your advertisement is seen as poor or does not position your product effectively in the mind of the consumer, that product will have a lower perceived quality. If you have a high quality, well-linked positioning for your product through advertising, then you are more likely to get a high value perception. Now the 8th is color. I'd already talked about color earlier, but I want to give it a bit of attention because color impacts brand personality. And colors carry their own meanings that influence how consumers perceive products. Consumers tend to evaluate many products based on the color. In some cases, various brands are associated with a specific color which carries personality-like connotations. In order to discover such insights, consumer behavior experts do research and use a variety of qualitative measurements and also research using observations, focus groups, and in-depth interviews in order to get the deeper meaning of colors. Of course, some will go very far and do research using projective techniques in order to understand the real value, the real meaning that is associated with a color, and particularly how well it matches the product that is associated with. So for example, if you take the color blue has been associated with authority. When it's used in the academic world, they say that it commands authority of knowledge. When it's used in the police force, then it is a deeper blue that carries almost intimidating power. And recently in Kenya, we saw the change in the color of police uniform. And it moved from a darker blue to a more light blue, more like electric blue. And while many people may not interpret this, in the psychology of color, the new color uniform for the police, it's a better blue that connects better with people. It's not as intimidating as the previous dark blue. So color can change the meaning. In fact, in research, we find that like in the real estate industry, people will avoid houses that are painted in blue. Blue is not one of the best colors to sell a house. We also find that low-calorie milk or skim milk might use a blue color, and that coffee in a blue can will be seen as mild coffee. Now, if you pick another color like, let's say yellow, yellow is associated with the caution or novelty or attention. For example, research says that eyes register the color yellow faster than any other color. And that's why it's used to stop traffic. Before you even go to the red, many times you see the colors shift through yellow to red because it registers in the mind and prepares you to come to a stop or to get attention, and then you don't delay at the stop point. Now, the other places we find yellow, it's used by taxis because it gets attention. And of course, we have seen in Kenya recently, the yellow color is being used for school buses, and it's seen as a way of protecting the children because that yellow color, the attention it gets, it's unlikely for other vehicles to hit the vehicles in yellow. From real estate industry, they also say yellow is a good color for the sale tags for selling a house. Green is associated with the secure, natural environment and also vegetation, growth, living things, and that kind of thing. And the best owner of green in Kenya is the Safaricom brand, which owns a unique shade of green, which when you see, you know that it's about Safaricom. But most of all is that green represents growth. It represents abundance. It represents a good environment, and it's associated with food and availability. In fact, the assumption is that if the environment is green, then we are food secure. So it can carry very positive meanings for a brand. When you go to red, people say red is associated with excitement, with humanity, with passion, and that's maybe why it's used with the Valentine's. Red is associated with making food smell better. That's why you find the popularity of something like tomato paste. And actually, research shows that coffee that is in a red can is perceived as rich, that it will taste better. And of course, globally, the ownership of the red color, it's associated more with Coca-Cola than almost any other brand. We will talk about color another day. So for now, let's sum up. The 8 factors that influence consumer perceived quality are: first, intrinsic factors; second, extrinsic factors; third, price-quality relationship; fourth, store image; fifth, manufacturer's image; sixth, image of country of origin; seventh, advertising; and eighth, color. Thank you for staying with me. Do like this video and share it with other people who you think might benefit from it. Thank you and best wishes. We all need to elevate our mindsets at this time.